Alright, hello. So, it's another day of VOD reviews. So, I apologize, of course, for not having facecam. I probably won't have facecam for the next couple of videos just because I have it set up for doing art and I'm going to be grinding out, make sure that I'm ahead on art stuff so that I'm good because I have a convention that I have to have stuff ready for. This game, I think I'm going to go over a common line I've been seeing in PBE, which is just the Umbral Reaper line. It did get nerfed quite a bit. I think since I'm making this video, I think this was like 2 PBE patches ago. So Alune was like way stronger, and Yone was way stronger. Or not way stronger, but Alune was definitely way stronger. If you don't know what any of this is set 11. It's the set that's coming out, and I'm playing in PBE, which is basically like the beta. So there's a lot of changes happening to it constantly, but the main reason you play is just to get like a little bit of a head start on learning the units, and you guys can also learn the units. I'll try my best to explain what's going on, and yeah, let's see how this goes. So, because it's just like early, I'll wait till after I take the augment, and then I'll probably skip to just showing you guys some of the traits that I'm planning on playing in the game, so I can give you a small introduction, and yeah. But basically, if you look on the screen, you might be able to recognize that there's a Yone on the screen. Yone he's like a melee attacker. There's this new trait called Reaper and Umbral. And Reaper is kind of like you have 4 in, you don't need a spat, and you can kind of go nuts. And he's basically like, he attacks like the furthest unit. He attacks the furthest unit in a 4 radius hex, so he kind of like teleports and does other stuff. Anyways, I take pumping up because I think from what I heard, Yone, you need a lot of attack speed, and I felt it a lot, especially in this game, that in order to keep up, you kind of need to have like attack speed. Some people are even considering putting Jinsu on him. But anyways, I'm kind of hovering over the traits. I'll show you the traits right now. Let me just get the tab open on my OBS. There we go. So right now, so there's 2 main traits that I'm going to be working with. I'm just trying to find it. Where's Umbral? Umbral right here, right? So on the right hand side. So Umbral, basically, it's like KDA hexes. When you have Umbral in, it illuminates these hexes. It kind of looks like a crescent moon shape, and it's kind of cool. There's 2 Umbral, which basically, and then every Umbral also gives execute, which is also really important. So having an execute for free on like an attacker, like a Yone. And basically, usually what you're doing is, because Yone is you'd play it like a 3-cost reroll. So if you're doing 3-cost reroll, there's Yone here, which is like your melee frontline. I'm not sure what the BIS items are yet, but I think you just need like melee items, but plus an attack speed item. I don't know if Giant Slayer is enough. I think you need like a QSS or a Jinsu maybe. And then there's Alune, right? And she's just like a backline caster that has a bunch of attack speed, and she was really broken, but they nerfed her a lot, so I don't know how strong she is. So this video might be a little bit outdated, but we'll see what happens. I think she'll still be strong even with the nerfs that they put on her. And these are both 3 costs, so you kind of roll for these ones. Usually what you're playing is you're playing 4 Umbral, which basically gives a 500 shield to your front lines and back lines, and it gives the 20% execute. 6 Umbral doesn't increase the amount of execute, so it's a little bit of bait, I think, because it gives a little bit more shield, and it makes the hexes on the whole board, which might be important in some matchups, but I don't think it's like that important. And it'll make sense when we go back to the game. You'll kind of see some of the stuff. And then the other one is Reaper. So Reaper is a max 4 trait, and you don't need a spat to play it. But basically, Reapers, you gain critical strike chance, which is why I think QSS is really good, because it gives you like that extra crit and crit damage. And if you play 4 Reapers, then you also get bleed, and you do 60% bonus. So I think 4 Reaper is really essential if you're prioritizing Yone carry, but it's a little bit awkward because you kind of don't want to play, like, Kayn isn't that great, and Kindred kind of doesn't fit in the board. Kha'Zix kind of fits in the board because you can play Heavenly in your front line, which I'll show. But yeah, so that is the intro to the traits, and now we'll go back to the game. It's just been playing in the background. Nothing really happened here. I have, as you can see, I have the Heavenly trait in. So Heavenly, I'm not going to go back to the augments, but basically Heavenly is like, there's 6 units of Heavenly, and whichever ones you put in gives your whole team a stat bonus. So Kha'Zix, the Reaper that I have to play to synergize with Yone, he gives plus crit chance to the whole board. He gives 15% crit chance to the whole board, and the other guy gives like frontline stats that I'm playing, the Alphite. Excuse me. Nose is running a little bit. Okay, so I'm just starting out with these couple of traits, and I'm just trying to build my board around playing Yone, Alune, reroll basically, right? And basically what I'm gonna try and fit in is you can't fit in on 7, but you can fit on 8 for sure. But the board on 8 is basically like 4 Reaper, 4 Umbral as like your main traits, and then you kind of synergize around the other ones. Until you get there, you play 2 Reaper, 4 Umbral, or something like that. It'll make sense once I get another Umbral unit, because Umbral's a 2 trait. So you'll see like the illuminated hexes, and then you'll kind of get an idea of like, oh yeah, that's what we're doing here. But it's similar to like KDA, the Umbral. I think the thing is that they're always in the same spot, so I feel like opponents can position around it really easily. So this is always what 2 Umbral looks like. Then 4 Umbral adds like a little bit more, I think. I forget which one adds more hexes, but I think it's either 4 or... yeah, it's 4 Umbral adds 3 hexes on the right-hand side, and then 6 Umbral makes the whole board illuminated, so you don't have to position on the hexes anymore. It basically works for the whole board. I think it's really convenient 6 Umbral, but the problem is it doesn't add any more execute. So it feels very diminishing returns if like the positioning isn't like super duper important. So you're probably better off just like putting in other traits and not playing 6 Umbral. That's kind of like my feel for it, unless you have like a spat maybe. I think the best case scenario with this comp though is that you get dropped a Reaper spat, because then you can fit your whole board on 7. And then if you get stuck on 7 that you're rolling, you're basically really strong still on 7, because you have the Alune and the Yone and a bunch of execute and a bunch of bleed damage in additionally. Yeah, so you see there, like it went into overtime, but like that was kind of good, the attack speed, no? I took pumping up as the prismatic because I'm just trying to see like, I want to get a feel for like the strength of the board if I have like good augments, right? Because like evaluating the strength of the board, at least for me, a lot of times it's like you need to like try it out when you have like high roll spot, like really good augments for everything, and I think pumping up is going to be really good for this line. That's my read at least, from what I can see so far. And then I want to see how it works out, how it feels like, if I'm keeping up, if I'm ahead of tempo, and then like, you know, relative to other people's boards. But you know, it's PBE, so take everything with a grain of salt, because things are subject to change a lot before this becomes real, and even when it's in when the set drops, it might still be a little bit, you know, different from patch to patch. The person I'm playing right now is the Story Weaver line. I think Story Weaver is really busted. I don't know how much the nerfs change. It looks like it's still kind of busted. Story Weaver is the trait where in this set where basically they summon. So you see how there's the Kale there. The Kale is basically like the summon, and it's like, you know, similar to like Country with the Hecarim, and Void with the Baron, and those things. Alright, I'm just trying to like figure out a mid-game board. I feel like mid-game it's kind of awkward because I don't have any of like the good frontliner units, or so it feels. In Umbral, the frontline, there's like a frontline bruiser, and then there's the set, which is also really good, which is a 5-star. So you can really high roll with this comp if you hit like the 4 cost and the 5 cost early. But also it has a good capping potential, right? Like you can if you push levels, there is like option to alternate some of your frontline with some of the stronger frontline units that still synergize really well, which is really good. Anyways, I have 2 Yones. That's good for me. I think I can't remember if this game is the game where like somebody else was like also kind of playing towards this line. Anyways, I make Hodge because of the crit chance. I'm trying to give my Yone 100% crit just cause. And I think, yeah, there was this guy that was playing Umbral. I think he was gonna play Yone, and he pivoted off, but I kept checking on him because, like, I was like, you know, I really want to see, like, me hitting the line on tempo. Like, I don't know if I want to play it contested. But it's PBE, so I just end up deciding, like, you know, whatever. I'll just force this. Because, you know, there's no rank points on the line. I kind of just want to, like, learn it. It's just that I wanted to learn it uncontested because I wanted to see this from, like, you know, how do I phrase it? Like, if it's contested, I'll probably have to play it again in PBE to, like, understand the line a little bit. Like, I feel like it won't be as much learning as if I just played something else. But I think it ends up switching, so I end up committing to it, so it's all fine. But yeah. Right now I'm just playing 3 Umbral. Next level up I'll play something else. I don't remember what I take. I think I take Jeweled Lotus. I'm kind of just reading. These are some new augments. You can read them, like Scoreboard Scrapper. I don't know how good they are. For me it was like heavy hitters is probably good if I end up hitting everything, like 3-star Alune, 3-star Yone. But if I don't hit also I don't know how to say it. Is it Alune, Ulu, like or Alune? Right? I don't know. Just somebody. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really care. When the set comes out and I hear everybody talking about it, then I'll know what I have to say, right? Yeah, it sucks because the guy was also going long, but I think he ends up full pivoting into something else. He hits like an early set though, and then I think he plays like Faded. So the person I'm playing against here is Faded. So what they're doing is when you have 2 Faded units, they connect and they give each other stats. And then as you have more Faded, it does like some extra stuff. So it looks like he's going for like RE reroll, which is a 1 cost. He has a bunch of REs. He's 1 off of the RE, and then he'll probably just like put the items on it. Maybe this guy's the guy that at the end is just really giga strong. I can't remember. I think I lost to a Faded person. I got second. But I really didn't deserve a second. I think I got second because Alune was fucking busted. Yeah. I found a Kane, so I can put him in for 1 Reaper instead of... Like, it doesn't really matter, like the Duelist or whatever. Right now I have a Darius in, which is a duelist. He's not really a frontline. I kind of messed up my positioning. So you see how I have like there's a Yorick that I have close to my little legend, right? He's right next to my little legend. And then in the front line, there's another purple dude, and that's the Darius. The Darius isn't a tank unit. It's the Yorick is the tank unit. So I just have them placed in the wrong spot. Like the Darius is like a magic attacker. He's like a 1-star version of Kane in set 10, right? Like he's a melee magic, melee AP. Alright, so now I'm looking. I want to complete my Titans, but I don't get it. So I think I'm going to grab either a tier or a sword. I might just grab the sword. Okay, so I grabbed the tier. The reason I'm grabbing the tier is because I'm trying to build towards Alune items, or Alune items. Yeah, this was the guy I was worried about. He already has a set, so he's just playing like set, and it's like, all right, well, he's probably not gonna pivot the items off the set now, so he's just going like fast level up, I guess.
Death is not always a release.
Yeah, I'm kind of debating because it's 3-5, and I feel like I'm a little bit behind tempo relative to the board. So I want to get to level 7 so I can at least fit in like some sort of a board, and I can at least like I'm kind of rolling here for just a Yone pair. Yeah, there we go. Because I'm carrying like a 1-star item because like it's not like a set 10. It's like if I'm committing to this line because that guy looks like he's not gonna commit to Yone reroll specifically. Then I want to at least I want to win some fights basically, right? Because I have a bunch of items slammed on a 1 cost that dies instantly, right? I need to like do this, right? Where now it's like, you know, 2-star if this guy can carry me through the rest of this stage, right? Even though I dip my econ really low, I can rebuild my econ, resend it 4-1, hit my whole board, resend it on 4-5, 5-1, right? It's not like that bad. If this was a real game, I think this spot would be shit, but it's PBE, so it's fine. Um, anyways, I had a Silas. I basically want to rush to level 8 or 9. See, I'm trying to think. Like, this is if I'm playing 4 Umbral, 4 Reaper. I think in this spot, like when you're level 7, you should be playing 4 Umbral with Alune, or Alune. I think it's Alune. I think it's Alune. I'm going to commit and say that it's Alune. Okay? So, you play Alune instead of Darius, and you play, you just drop the Kindred for Silas, and then you have a little bit more front line, and that's kind of the line. You can also drop the Heavenly. The Heavenly isn't that important, right? It's just giving a little bit of crit and a little bit of front line. But I have a 2-star Malphite that I'm just tempoing from stage 1, but you can drop him and play the last Reaper instead, and then play 4 Umbral, 4 Reaper and have no front line. But I think that's a lot riskier. I think it's better just to have some sort of front line, and then on level 8 you can fit in the 4th Reaper. Because the thing is, you're never gonna itemize Kindred or Kha'Zix, and it's a bit awkward to play the two of them. But then when you're level 8, you kind of don't have anybody to put in except for Reaper. Like, it fits really nice on 8 this board, is what I'm trying to say. But there's like 3 like bullshit units though, so I don't know, unless they get buffed. Like, I think they're probably gonna buff Kayn, and I think when they buff Kayn, it will probably this line will probably make more sense. Like, if they even out the damage instead of it being like just Alune and just Yone, if you like even it out a little bit, make it like you know, like those assassin builds or rogue builds in set 9, like that, where it's like you have like a bunch of, you just basically reroll to get 3-star of all of those units, right? I think Reaper can like turn into that. Anyways, I'm just kind of playing it like this because I don't have the Alune yet. But as soon as I hit Alune, I think my board will be a lot more stable. I also have Alune items. I should just slam it on somebody. Probably the Darius, just because I'm gonna swap out the Darius anyways. I guess I already swapped out the Darius, maybe. But yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, I rolled a little bit deep, but I'm able to rebuild my econ. I'm back to 50 now, and then I can slow roll like 30 this stage, I think. I should just take the lesser dupes. Oh, there's a Reaper Crest. Right, I took Reaper Crest. Yeah, so Reaper Crest solves the board. Now I can just stay on level 7, right? I think it works out to be the same, but I think Reaper Crest is higher cap, right? So if I, like, the reason I took Reaper Crest here is, this is what I was saying before. Now I can fit the whole board on, what am I missing? Something's wrong with my board. I don't know what. Oh, there we go. I just did slam the Reaper Crest. Okay, there, that makes sense. Okay, so Alune is busted. Just know that. So I might show the damage numbers at one time. I don't know. I probably forgot to show it because I wasn't thinking about that. But basically, now that I got a Reaper Crest, I can just stay the whole game on 7 because I can fit the whole board, and leveling up doesn't really make anything better except for like fitting in. Like, you know, obviously if I hit level 6, if I hit level 9, sorry, I can put in 6 Umbral, and I can put in Set and the other dude. But now it's like, it's just not like, if I took lesser duplicator, it's because I want to level up to level 8 to put in the boards. But if I take the Reaper Crest, then I just don't have to play the Kindred, and then I just have extra spots in my board, so now I can just fit everything in. Yeah, see, so there was Heavenly. If you saw it, you can rewind the video, but it gives the 12% crit or whatever, and then 12 armor MR. So that's why I just have Heavenly in for now. Yeah, so Yorick reduces the reroll, so this works out great for me that I'm rerolling. So I just kind of send it this turn, and then basically on the next 3 turns, I'm trying to spend all my gold, because it's basically like having with 1-cost rerolls, there's like no point in just sitting around. I think I send it to like 20 here. I had a Kayn 2. Yeah, and then I'll just slow roll 20, and then I'll just send it to 0 after that. Basically, like, in this set, I didn't talk about it before, but I had a video last time. I'm trying not to, like, super repeat myself and make it, like, too confusing. But in this set, the main mechanic of the set is encounters, if you haven't seen them. So what encounters are is that every couple of stages, something randomly appears. And some dude randomly appears and he gives you, like, some option or some buff. Sometimes it's inconsequential, but sometimes it's really good. So in this case, like, sometimes they give you an item, sometimes they give you temporary items. This time, dude shows up and says, hey, reroll a little bit, right? And I'm like, all right, okay, sounds good. Yeah, that's the guy that he just templed the whole lobby and he's just 100 health. It's like, okay, but thank God he didn't contest me. At least he, like, went for something else that's fun. Yeah, I was thinking if I take the spat to make an Umbral spat, because then on level 8 I can fit in 6 Umbral and then I can position my board a little bit better. But I don't think 6 Umbral is that important. I think it's, like, important, like, it depends how much positioning is going to matter in certain matchups and things. It might feel, like, really good. Anyway, this guy's going for Silas 3, which sucks for me because I wanted a Silas on my board, but I guess I'll just be Silas 1 for the rest of the game. Yeah, I'm sending it because I have the one cost rerolls, right? If not, I would build up my econ and resend it later. Anyways, I hit a Alune too, so that means I'm gonna win the lobby now. Just kidding. She was really broken before. Basically, Alune does, like, a bunch of AP damage, but then she also, when she also gains, like, a bunch of attack speed. She gains, like, 40 attack speed and spreads it over the back row. And she started with, like, 20 mana, and so she would, like, cast really fast. Look, see, so boom, now she has attack speed, and now she's just gonna fucking cast, boom, dead. Because you have to understand that Umbral also has execute. So you have, like, a magic caster that does, like, a shit ton of damage that also executes. It's like, hello? So they nerfed everything about her. I think, well, not everything. They nerfed all of her her mana. They nerfed her mana and they nerfed her attack speed, which I think makes sense. Those are the most broken things. But I don't know how strong she is because I haven't tried her now after the nerfs. But I think they nerfed her, like, once or twice already. Like, every day that comes out, there's a new Alune nerf. I don't even know if Reaper is good on Alune. I just kind of put it on her because I was like, yeah, whatever. She'll do, like, extra bleed damage and crit damage. Like, you know, have fun. But I think it might be better on, like, another frontline unit. Like, I was debating if I put it on, like, Silas or, like, one of the other Umbrals, but I think it's fine. I just make an Edge at Night, put items on him. My items are kind of bad. Like, I have no Shred and no Anti-Heal. Right, but that's what kind of happens when you're, like, trying to learn the game and just, like, throw stuff together. So, like, my board in terms of, like, item economy, it's pretty bad. But it's like I don't really have, like, I don't have good holders of the items, right? And also, like, I was just going for, like, pure damage on the units because I just want to see how much they can do, right? I'm not really looking for utility. I think this is gonna be one of those comps where it's gonna be, like, hard to, like, figure it out. You might have to tech in, like, the other units, right? So, like something I'm thinking about is, like, instead of playing Heavenly, right? If I was ever able to drop, like, 1 or 2 of the units, like, Aatrox would be really good in this comp because Aatrox gives MR shred. So if you're playing, like, Kayn primary with Reaper, right? Because if you're playing Alune, you want to put in an Invoker next level or something like that, right? It'll just help the whole board. But if you're playing Kayn primary, it might be good to just get an Aatrox that does MR Shred, and then you can just build, like, an Even Shroud. I don't know who does the, like, I think is it Thresh? I think it's Thresh that does the Sunder. I think. And Thresh is Behemoth. I guess you can tech in a Thresh as well. I forget who does the. Oh, it's Irelia does it as well, right? So if you get an Irelia high roll, she does Shred. So she does Sundering, like, MR reduction. Yeah, so I make a Morello, I just put on the Kayn, whatever. I'm starting to try and have some sense of utility here. And now I'm just kind of, like, rolling because I just want to hit, right? I don't want to, like, lose all my HP and not hit. I'd rather just, like, get the units. So I'm rolling a 10 here because it's 5-1. Yeah, a lot of the other boards, it's hard for me to know what's going on. Like, I kind of watch it, and I think that they have, like, very, like... I feel like their boards are very complex. They're just teching in multiple traits. So it's hard to tell. That's Ashe. Ashe is like a porcelain sniper. Snipers gain damage based on distance and plus attack range. And then porcelain does, like, this teapot thing where, like, after a couple seconds, they gain stats or, like, explode or something. Ashe, I think, got changed a lot, because I remember Ashe was, like, really, really weak, and now, I think now she got buffed a bunch, and I don't know if she's, like, playable yet. Yeah, so this guy is kind of just winning the game. He's 100 streaking. But anyways, I just hit my Yone 3, so now I have a huge power spike. It's definitely behind tempo, but it's kind of hard to tell. Like, I don't know when rerolls hit anymore because of the changes in set 10 and like there's so many changes in set 10, like the reduced bag size, as well as the changes in exp leveling, and the changes with the chosen mechanic, or the headliners. So my feel for when I should be hitting a 3-cost 3-star is a bit awkward now, because it's like, okay, like, is this on tempo or is it not on tempo? Because it's like, it's definitely behind tempo with what it looks like, but, you know, before there was headliners, and that obviously sped up everything a lot, right? I think the headliners really screwed up rerolls, right? Because the point of rerolls is, like, you can't really, like, commit to a reroll unless you have a bunch of the units before. And with the headliners, you can kind of do it without committing. Like, I don't know why. I think they're pinging, like, it's an Ashe 3, and I just didn't notice. So one of the guys has Ashe 3, and then... So now I'm fighting... This guy was 100 streaking, so he was strongest in the lobby, right? By far. Like, he 100 streaked, like, the whole game. Anyways, look at my, my Yone going nuts. And the Alune. Or the... Yeah. If you look at it, you see how Alune is a 2-star. If you saw the damage output, she did more damage than the Yone, and they both lived. They both lived till the end, right? That's how broken Alune is, or was at least. They changed it a lot, but that's what I mean. I think even with, like, the consecutive nerfing of her, like, I have a 2-star Alune, right? Can we, like, put into perspective? She's not even 3-star. And I just rolled the strongest player in the lobby, and she did more damage than my 3-item Yone. It's like, what the fuck? Oh, so this is Set. So Set is a 5-cost. And basically what he does is he squats the 2 allies that are next to him, right? At the start of combat. And when he squats them, here you can pause the video right now and you can see what it says. When he squats, he gains 1% permanent damage. So what you do is you put 1% per 1,000 health of the allies. So if you're playing like a reroll like this, you put him next to your Yone, but it kind of fucks up the positioning a little bit, because then your Yone is frontline and you might die. But just do that, he squats, and then you win. Yeah, it's Ashe 3, so I didn't expect to beat this, but, you know. Anyways, you see, like, this game wasn't very difficult. I kind of just sat around and just rolled. I'm level 7. I'm just stuck on 7. But I got stuck on 7 because I took the, I took the Reaper spat. So I kind of admitted, just want to hit both of them 3-star instead of just hitting one and moving on. But yeah. Wasn't this game kind of easy? I think it got nerfed a lot, so I think it will obviously be a little bit different. But yeah, just the relative power of Alune, and I don't know, like, that's the thing. You see how, like, weak Yone kind of is without the Alune doing doing twice as much damage? It's like you kind of need both, right? And now that they nerfed Alune, you might have to hit both of them 3-star in order to, like, be competitive. I'm not sure if this is like how the board is supposed to look. I think it's probably going to be drop Heavenly. I think the Heavenly is probably the most useless of everything, and it's probably going to be like build a better front line. Right, on level 8 you can fit in a lot, right? Because you're playing Ghostly with the Kayn, the Aatrox fits in really well. And the Aatrox gives some shreds, so that then you can just prioritize one of, like, instead of having to build like an even shroud, because you're doing both AD and AP damage. Anyways, Alune 3, nice. Because you're doing both AP and AD damage, it's hard to like decide like, oh, do I build shred or do I build MR shred, or do I build like like armor sundering, right? So you might have to use like utility bots, right? So like Aatrox is Ghostly and Bruiser, so he will fit in nicely with the Silas if you're playing Silas. I think I sold my Silas because did I sell my Silas? I think I sold my Silas because I just didn't have room for him because I found the set, and the set is just better because I wasn't gonna hit Silas because the other guy has Silas 3 or is trying to hit Silas 3. But anyways, what you do is you can put Aatrox in. You get Ghostly on the Kayn as well, so the Ghostly will just boost the damage if the Kayn kind of goes nuts. And then you can basically like trio carry Kayn, Yone, and Alune, and I think that would be a lot more spread out. It's just if Kayn just doesn't do anything right now, he kind of feels like a dead unit, even with 3 items. And yeah, so I think when this goes into live, I think you'll probably like tech in the Ghostly with the Aatrox and then build a Even Shroud. If you're playing this specifically, if you're playing a Alune carry, it's probably better just to like get an Invoker or something like that. Anyways, look at that. Did you see that? She just one-shot a 2-star 5 cost, I'm pretty sure. Or maybe it's a 1-star 5 cost, but she just like one-shot that dude. He tried. He walked up the Udyr, and he just got rolled, you know what I mean? But yeah, the other guy is Silas 3. The guy I'm fighting is win streaking. Oh, this is the Ashe 3 guy. So this guy's Ashe 3. And they both have like kind of like complex boards that's like hard to tell like what's going on. Like they're not playing a vertical trait, so like I don't know. I'm gonna like, you know, just ride it out. I'm not gonna overanalyze the board yet. I think Set's Warden. Who's a Warden? I think Thresh. You can play Set Thresh, and then you'll have Shred, I think. I think it's Thresh that does that. I'm gonna check. Thresh is faded. But yeah. Anyways, check this out. Ashe 3, dead. Alune just sniped her. Like, what? Hello? You said she does so much. But anyways, they nerfed it. Thank God. Can you imagine if they didn't? No, I'm joking. I'm glad they nerfed it early in the PBE because like it's kind of like messed up. It was really hard to Oh, it's not Thresh that does it. So who does the MR shred? Or who does the sundering? One of the frontline units does a little bit of sunder. I just don't know who it is. But you might have to tech that in. Anyways, I just play an Invoker here. I'm playing Silas 3, so this guy's board is just super capped. He just has like a bunch of faded. He has a faded augment. So everybody's just getting a bunch of stats, and yeah. This is against clone though, so I'm gonna beat the clone. People are saying that clone bug is fixed, but I think there's still some bugs. Obviously, because like, look, I was able to beat this guy, and he has like everything. His set's been stacking the whole game, by the way. So his set also has a bunch of ADs, so he's like a trio carry with set as well. But yeah, it's basically going to be a second from here. My thoughts, I kind of explained it. I think I was a little bit repetitive. Hopefully this was a bit informative. If you haven't seen any of these traits, you can try this Reaper Umbral line. It's very easy. The units are also very easy to recognize, I find, right? Umbral is one of those traits where you look in the shop, it's like, are they purple in color? Oh, I buy it, right? It's not hard to miss. Like I think some of the traits, like, you know, when they're all gold and colorful, it's hard to like know who's who if it's a new set, but this is pretty easy to try out if you're trying it out in PBE. And yeah, so it's and then you can experiment with like the extra units, right? Like if you drop Reaper, like if you're on 7 and you're not playing for Reaper, you have a little bit of flexibility. Like you can change the front line a little bit, put in the like I was saying with Aatrox might be a good try, right? Aatrox Silas as a front line, or something else with Set. Because obviously the Malphite is just a synergy bot in the Kha'Zix, so they're not really essential. Then you can also try it out with True Reaper. Maybe 2 Reaper, 6 Umbral is the way to go, and I'm wrong, but you know, that's just how it is. We're learning. So yeah, and this was the final look at the board, and that's everything. So I'll see you guys next time. That's we'll try. Well, I'll probably review like 2 or 3 vids that are just bad. Like I didn't win, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. Bye bye.